Hello everyone. In our previous videos, we have explored several major branches of philosophy, each illuminating a different dimension of human thought and expression. Today, we turn to the final and deeply significant branch of our journey, political philosophy. If logic teaches us how to think clearly, and aesthetics teaches us how to perceive beauty, political philosophy confronts a different and urgent concern, the question of how we should live together. It asks questions such as: what is justice? What makes authority legitimate? Why should anyone obey a law? What gives a government the right to rule? These are not merely academic puzzles. They shape nations, constitutions, revolutions, and the daily lives of citizens. To explore political philosophy is to examine the principles that structure collective existence. Political philosophy is the study of power, governance, rights, duties, and the moral foundations of the state. It investigates not just how governments function, but how they ought to function. It asks whether freedom is more important than order, whether equality requires sacrifice, and whether justice is rooted in law, morality, or consent. Across civilizations, thinkers have reflected on these concerns. Both Western and Indian traditions have developed rich and distinctive visions of political life. Let us begin with the Western tradition. In ancient Greece, political inquiry took systematic form. Plato envisioned an ideal state governed by philosopher kings, individuals trained in wisdom and guided by reason rather than desire. In his work, The Republic, he describes justice as harmony, each part of society performing its proper function. For him, leadership required knowledge of the good, and political order mirrored the structure of the human soul. His student, Aristotle, approached politics more practically. Instead of imagining a perfect city, he examined existing constitutions. He described human beings as political animals, meaning that participation in civic life fulfills our nature. The state, in his view, exists not merely for survival but for the flourishing of its citizens. Governance should cultivate virtue and promote the common good. Centuries later, during periods of turmoil in Europe, political reflection shifted toward questions of authority and consent. Thomas Hobbes, writing amid civil conflict, imagined what life would be like without any government. He calls this the state of nature, a condition where there would be constant fear and insecurity. Without laws or authority, people would struggle to protect themselves. To avoid such disorder, Hobbes believed individuals agree to give up some of their freedom to a powerful ruler who can maintain peace. For him, safety depends on strong and unified authority. In contrast, John Locke argued that individuals possess natural rights like life, liberty, and property even before governments are formed. Political institutions arise through consent, and when rulers violate fundamental rights, citizens are justified in resisting. Here, we see the foundations of liberal democracy. Jean Jacques Rousseau introduced yet another vision. He believed that true political authority lies in the general will, the collective will of the people. Freedom, in his understanding, does not mean living alone or doing whatever one desires. It means participating in shaping the laws that govern everyone. A just society reflects the common good rather than private interest. In the 19th century, rapid industrial growth led to new forms of inequality, and this inspired sharp criticism. Karl Marx argued that political systems often protect the interests of the wealthy and powerful. He saw history as a struggle between social classes and believed real freedom could only come when economic injustice was removed. In his view, politics and economics are deeply connected, and one can't be understood without the other. Through these thinkers, Western political philosophy evolved from virtue and civic harmony the social contracts, natural rights, popular sovereignty, and structured critique. Now let us move on to the Indian tradition, where political reflection developed through a different yet equally profound framework. In ancient India, governance was closely linked with dharma, a concept encompassing duty, righteousness, and moral order. Authority was not merely administrative, it carried ethical and cosmic significance. The ruler was expected to uphold justice in alignment with a larger moral harmony. One of the most important treatises on statecraft is the Arthashastra, attributed to Kautilya. This text presents a remarkably detailed account of administration, diplomacy, taxation, intelligence, and military organization. Unlike purely idealistic visions, it offers a practical understanding of power. A stable state requires vigilance, strategy, and disciplined governance. Prosperity and security are central responsibilities of leadership. Another model emerges in the reign of Ashoka. After witnessing the devastation of war, he embraced Buddhist principles and promoted compassion, tolerance, and welfare through his edicts. Political authority here became a vehicle for moral transformation. Rule is measured not only by strength but by ethical conduct. Indian epics and philosophical texts also reflect deep political insight. The Bhagavad Gita explores the tension between moral hesitation and righteous action. Power must align with responsibility, and action must accord with dharma. The Ramayana presents an ideal of righteous leadership, where the ruler places duty and justice above personal interest. In the modern era, colonial rule prompted renewed reflection. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi articulated a vision grounded in nonviolence and self governance. His idea of Swaraj signified not only political independence but inner discipline and moral autonomy. True freedom begins within the individual and extends outward into society. Dr. Ambedkar emphasized constitutional democracy, social equality, and the dismantling of caste hierarchy. As the principal architect of India's constitution, he combined institutional safeguards with a deep commitment to justice and representation. Political freedom, in his view, must include social transformation. When we place Western and Indian traditions side by side, striking contrasts and resonances appear. Western thought often places emphasis on individual rights, social agreements, and the structure of institutions. Indian philosophy, on the other hand, connects governance with moral duty, spiritual values, and harmony within the community. Yet both traditions confront similar concerns. How is authority justified? What limits should power have? How can justice be secured? What obligations do citizens bear? Political philosophy is not merely an academic study, it is a living inquiry into the kind of society we wish to build. It speaks to the structure of our institutions, the limits of authority, and the meaning of justice in shared life. Whenever we debate rights, question power, or imagine a better social order, we are participating in this tradition of reflection. Ideas shaped by centuries of thought continue to guide our constitutions, influence public movements, and inform the choices made by nations. To engage with political philosophy is to recognize that collective life is neither random nor fixed. It is shaped by principles, by how we understand equality, liberty, responsibility, and human dignity. Across cultures and across time, thinkers have sought to clarify these principles, not simply to describe the world, but to improve it. In the end, political philosophy leaves us with a quiet but demanding insight. A just society does not arise by chance. It requires wisdom in leadership, awareness among citizens, and a constant effort to balance freedom with order. For the question remains as vital today as it was centuries ago. How shall we live together? With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll be coming up with another video in a short time. Till then, goodbye.